Okay, so we're going to talk about the standalone features of the Captivation. The first one we're going to talk about is actually motion control. With the motion control, we're actually going to use a 24-volt, 600 milliamp sensor. It doesn't matter whose it is. So I'm going to pop off the cover, and the first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this timeout to the minimum. The minimum timeout on this sensor happens to be 30 seconds. So once I've taken that to the minimum, and I've actually connected this, I have default settings inside the Captivation that will allow this sensor to work in a standalone mode. Basically what I'm going to do is connect it color for color, so the blue, the black, and the red, my power, my ground, and my motion, to the blue, black, and red push button terminal here in the Captivation. What the Captivation's timeout is set at is to 20 minutes default. With the 30 seconds that I've set on the sensor, from full on to off, with no motion is detected, will be 20 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's the default time in addition to whatever you've set on the sensor is the total timeout. Okay, so we just finished the motion detector side of this. So what we're going to move down to is the user interface. And basically what we have here is a low voltage momentary contact switch with 3 buttons. We have our power, our ground, and then switch 1, switch 2, and off. These switches, switch 1, switch 2, and off, all have predefined levels already set to them. So with no programming, a low voltage contact switch would be able to reach these 3 scene settings. All right, so now that we've done motion control and user interface, what we're looking for is the UL924. Basically, you have the red power, the black ground, and then the switching is done between the yellow. What the UL924 is meant to do is it's meant to drive the Captivation device to a panic setting. That default setting or that default level is for the actual load connected to it. So right now, by default, without programming, the load is meant to drive to 100% in any kind of panic situation. It is a normally closed contact, but it can be configured as being normally open. You can also change the level or the default level of that panic condition in the Envision software. Okay, so let's take a moment to talk about the DMX. Right here we have a DMX line coming in and then coming back out. So this is a typical daisy chain topology for DMX. Any of our devices in the DMX chain or in the DMX daisy chain that are coming in and out, the DMX terminator that you see in here will actually be set to off. The last one in the chain, the DMX terminator will actually have to be removed and moved into the on position. This is indicating that this is the last Captivation device in that chain of DMX and that no signal needs to pass any further. It is important when installing a DMX network to determine which units have their DMX cable shield connected to the mains ground and which do not. This can be ascertained with a simple continuity check between pin 1 of the device's connector and the mains or chassis ground. If all the devices, except the transmitter or console, are isolated from the ground, it will not normally be necessary to take any special precautions. If one or more devices are grounded, it may prove necessary to move the jumper on the DMX ISO ground to on.